The Nissan Nation podcast is a presentation of DRB and KGB Media.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee, all the way over to Southern California, down to Australia, over to South Africa. We're everywhere, Danny.
Yeah, buddy. We're living the dream, living the Nissan dream, as always, Dave. It's good to be back on.
It's good to be back on, man. We had hoped to have a special guest tonight, but Boy Scouts interrupted that, Dan, and
yeah,
so
that's all right.
So the busy Nissan life that we live, Boy Scouts takes precedence, and we totally understand that. I'm sort of glad my son never got into Boy Scouts. I enjoy.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a lot. It's a blessing and a curse when your children get into stuff. Right. I know when my daughter was playing softball, I was always going to games and practices, and it was super rad to watch her do that. But at the same time, man, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we'll hopefully we'll get our buddy Daniel in here to talk some racing in South America there real soon. But a little shout out to, what is it, Nismo? What's his truck racing team?
It's totally blanking on me right now.
Me too.
Nismo Stuff.
Yeah, Nismo Stuff racing.
He has a Nismo Stuff blog that he does.
He was on, I guess, about 6 months ago, man, and we hope to hear what
he has
plans are.
The Rally Frontier.
Yeah. What they do racing in Canada and kind of the East Coast?
northeast coast, I guess you would say, a little bit of Canada, all in that area.
Speaking of racing, man, how any cool news on your truck?
Thanks for asking, Dave. Nope.
So
not really. Christmas budgets.
The last we've seen, I think, you got your gas tank installed.
Yeah, the fuel cell is installed and fabbed up for all that. Not much else going on there.
Well,
should put together a little more work on it. I think beginning of February, I think we'll start getting back into it.
Nice, man. Any still kind of just plans for hopefully goofing off with it a little bit towards the end of the summer?
I hope so. I plan to goof off with it as soon as I get it.
You're just going to go in your shop and look at it. I know what you're going to do.
I know. No, I'm going to do more than that. Be rubbing on it, touching it all gentle and then all rough, then all gentle again, and then rough.
Family show, Danny.
Oh.
Did you
the truck?
So what sponsors have you kind of gotten lined up so far with this thing?
Radflow has really helped out. General Tire, I'm looking into them for doing tires. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Nistec Lifts and Exterior Performance are sponsoring. We have Doug Thorley Headers. They set me up with when we were working on the other race truck. We got headers for both trucks actually, so they're on board. We got Doug Thorley's on there. I'm trying to think offhand who else. Lifestyle Off-Road's going to be doing a wrap for me when it gets time to make it look all purdy like.
Sweet. So what are you going to do? Put it on a plane and take it to Iowa, or
I'm gonna put Lifestyle Off-Road on a plane and take it to California.
Nice, dude. The SoCal life, man.
Pack up a big old wrappy wraps for me.
Well, I learned this. I learned about 2 weeks ago that, Danny, I will be at the Rubicon this summer.
Really?
I did.
What are you going to be doing there?
Well, just looking around,
sightseeing.
Yeah, I figured I'd get my BMX bike out there and just, see what I can do, man. It's been a while.
Who are you going out there with?
Meeting some Overland friends out that way. We're going to do some scouting for some future fun things to pop up that I can talk about a little bit later. All right. Plans were changed. My Colorado plans were beat by I won't say, and so we've changed it and upped our game, and That's all I'll say about that. But people
Gotcha.
should be excited.
Gotcha.
They really should be excited if you know what I do. Clearly, after 45 episodes, people know what I do. But
that
anyways,
was Dave in the shaded, jaded behind. That's what we call Dave behind the veil. One day he will come out from the veil.
That's right, man. One day you'll lift that veil up and there'll be my face there, and that's scary.
Oh, jeez, that's creepy.
But,
well, that's okay though.
All kinds of stuff going on over the winter, man.
Good stuff. Yeah, we got. I got that Rogue Overland trip I'm going to be doing in 2 weeks out in Johnson Valley. We're going to do a little Arizona, Nevada, California kind of corners. So that should be fun. I got that headed up ahead of me.
I'm super jealous on that, man. I haven't got to actually just go out in a while. We're me and Kevin Smith with Smith Overland and Jason Hoffman with the Toyota Trucks and Trails podcast. We're doing a rally in June. They're doing an overland rally here through North Carolina, Tennessee. It's like a 3 or 4 day thing where I forget how it's staging it. One particular stage is like a timed event. The next is they give you a map and you've got to just somehow get there. I haven't really read the details on it yet, here as I talk about it. So that's one cool thing this summer, man. Have you I'm sure Moab's on your radar. Any other cool things starting to pop up for summer?
There's a lot of for me it's kind of like a million things have popped up and I have to kind of go through and weed out the stuff that I just don't think I'm going to make. So there's some stuff in July that I want to go do, but I don't want to say that I'm going to go do it because I don't know if I am yet. But you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I really want to make a trip out to Colorado this year, sometime in the summer. I know me and the wife and the kids are going to be doing like a big long loop around California, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Idaho, maybe. Kind of doing a big long run around there, doing some overlanding and off-roading and basically sightseeing.
Well, your truck is pretty much set up for a nice long road trip now, right?
Yeah, everything's pretty solid on it. I need a bigger tent. The tent I have is it's not working for me. So
well, you've went through a couple different tents, right?
Yeah, I did the CVT Mount Bachelor, which was a really awesome tent. I really wish I had that one back. And then I went with a super lightweight Front Runner. It's a good tent. It's super lightweight, but it's just not. It's like a bachelor's tent, really.
Yeah.
Not the Mount Bachelor. It's like a single person's tent, I should say.
Is that the one you're
running
now? So
I like it, but it's not what I need.
But that's the one you're running right now?
That's the one I'm running right now. It's good enough if it's just me and the wife. It only weighs, 80 pounds, I want to say, or 75 to 80 pounds, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. So compared to like the 110, 120 pound bigger, right, double stack, extra layered, wonderful ninja tents. It's a great tent, and it's super slimline. It's not nearly as tall, mm-hmm, but the wife needs that comfort. So we'll be taking the Front Runner on this trip, but I got to bring extra mattress pad and stuff like that normally would just go in it from if I had a bigger tent.
Well, where do you what's your plan for hauling this extra stuff, man? Because you're in a Frontier, so you're open back and.
Well, when I don't have kids, I have like a mattress pad, and I just put that in the back seat area, and then everything else I carry in the back in large kind of like weatherproof containers.
Right.
So I'm good in that respect.
Of course, you've got your ARB fridge and all that stuff. I'm assuming that's mounted in the rear of the truck.
Yeah. It's actually mounted in my garage as my beer fridge in the off duty, and then it slides right in the back of the truck for my off road trips.
For the beer fridge for off road trips.
I have all my containers and stuff pretty well organized now. Where I just grab like 4 containers. I have a couple of those action packers, and I have a couple old military guidance units containers that I gutted out and put new stuff in them, and those are what I use for all my gear. You know what really, really good it's shameless plug for Home Depot, but the rigid toolboxes, they're little weatherproof toolboxes. They're not expensive, and I got them from Home Depot, and they work so well. And they like stack on each other. You can lock them together. They're really, really cool. Shameless plug for Home Depot. We get nothing from them though.
Yeah. them and damn it Mountain Dew, and everybody won't send us anything.
Yeah, I know. Somebody's gonna latch on sooner or later. They do give military discount, so thanks, Home Depot.
Yeah, I read a big ordeal on that over the internet recently. They
oh jeez.
I'm not going into that one, but yeah,
Let's next.
Thank you for your service, Home Depot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited about the Rubicon man thing. The only bummer about living on the East Coast is like it's just not feasible for me to drive where I want to be a lot of the times. And
yeah, no, I get that for sure, and I'm there with you trying to get. I want to drive out to Went, but I mean that is a long trip.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, for you, what you're talking, just 3 days of travel just to get here, which
I wanted to say it was like 29 hours or 30 hours of driving to get to Went if I was to drive.
You're trying to
straight through.
I was just saying, you're going to try to pull a Dave and JR thing and just straight through the son of a bitch.
That's a double Dave and JR. That's what that is.
Yeah, dude. I'm itching for some stupid trip like that again, though, man. I may just show up. In truth,
I got the itch, dude. I'm so glad I'm going on this trip. But I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure you're very like me. Like after a couple weeks, if it goes a month and I haven't been on a trip, I start getting antsy, man. I start like pacing around the house, and my wife's like, "You need to go off-roading. You need to go adventuring, camping, whatever it is you need to do, shooting your guns or something. You need to go out and do it." Because she can tell when I start getting like stir crazy in the house, man. And Dave, guess what? Big news.
Uh-oh.
California's been raining for like 2 weeks.
What? Like a drop?
It's been raining like nonstop for like 2 weeks.
You're talking like an actual droplet.
Like the wet stuff.
Wow.
I mean, not quite what Tennessee was getting when we had to pull over the middle of the highway, but it's like legitimate. We have inches. We have more than centimeters of rain right now.
Man, what people are going crazy out there.
Well, I won't say the local mountains. The Sierras got up in the area where we like to go skiing and stuff. They got like 20 feet of snow, dude. It's been pretty wild out here. Everybody's like rejoicing and crashing and, that kind of stuff.
I did read that there's some avalanche warnings up in that area, which is strange. It's like a rare occurrence.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's cool, man. We're excited to kind of get back to like the somewhat normal California. It's been wild being just without water for so long. All the lakes are dry and stuff.
I know our buddy Jen Bachman over there in the Reno area, man, like they've had all kinds of flooding and it's like been a disaster for them. So I know it's much needed because I know like, of course all that water runs down and I know like the Lake Mead area and all that, they need, I know they get some water from that area, but it's mostly Colorado River, but I know they've been sort of in a drought for several years, so I know that water's needed that way.
Yeah, all these lakes are down at like 20%, 10%, 40%, from the normal fill level. So all of our reservoirs, basically most of the lakes around where I'm at are just reservoirs that, they store water because they have it so little around here. They gotta snag that stuff up before it goes out in the ocean. And all those are usually filled by the snowfall from the sea and stuff. So a lot of those lakes are probably going to be filling up a little bit more now that we got all that snow in the local mountains. I actually drove out a couple weeks ago out to the local mountains where I'm at, and we found a little snow actually. So it was pretty cool. Got the kids out. It was mostly like mud and dirt, but we got a little off road and a little snow. Found a nice little area to shoot.
Well, we had a little snow our way here, man, which is strange. The weather people were like, "Oh, yeah, you're probably not going to get any snow." And as soon as they said that, we got like 4 inches of snow. And
nice.
And then 3 days later, it's 70 degrees. So, it always helps for when you work outside and you don't want to get sick and the weatherman screws you.
Yeah, you do work outside a lot.
I know one time, and this is sort of not off topic here, but is San Diego still working on where they were trying to convert seawater to fresh water?
Oh, we actually in my county over here we have a desalinization plant. Yeah, they have a couple of those, which cost a ton of money to build.
Yeah, it was like $1 billion.
And that's like the big drawback. But supposedly in the long run it works good. But yeah, they started doing that somewhat recently. The last 5 years, they started popping up a couple plants.
Is it?
There's one right down the street from my work actually.
Is it
took
dolphin
forever
safe?
to build? Yeah, it's good.
nothing
Sucking
like
that water down, man. I suck that water.
nothing like a little tuna in your.
Yeah. For all of our listeners, I want you to know I don't drink water. I suck that water down.
Well,
straw, bottleneck.
That's right, dude.
Whatever you need, man. I'll suck water. Anyways, Dave, let's move on to what people actually care about, not our weather in our lives. Let's get into some Nissan stuff, man.
Not our weather in life, man. Come on, man. I thought that's what they were listening for us. Just that thing.
The Danny and Dave show.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's up today? We got all kinds of news for you. See.
The shit show is the Danny and Dave show.
Yeah. So, Dave, we had a big show. There was a big show, right?
Yeah.
We got the Nissan. Let's start out with the Nissan V-Motion. I want to get your take on this because I have my opinions, as always. And I actually listened to my opinions the other day, and I wasn't as privileged. All right, that's the wrong word. I wasn't as happy to hear my own opinions thinking back, and I was like, man, some of my opinions sucked. So I want to get your opinion on the new Nissan V-Motion 2.0.
Nissan news. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah is right.
And there it is.
Mr. Breslin. Man, we got to get Breslin back on here. It's been too long.
Yeah, for sure. He's got his GPEX run coming up, so we should hit him up for that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see. We got all kinds of news, man. And as Danny kind of hinted there, the Detroit Auto Show just finished up. Overall, man, of course, we're car guys, and we keep up with that really no matter what brand. I have to say, this was a lame year for the Detroit Auto Show, man. Usually this is like the Super Bowl of auto shows. There's this one in, I think, Geneva. And I just, every manufacturer, I was just like, where's the cool cars? You know, Ford, the big news, this was probably the biggest news out there was the Ford, you know, the Ranger and Bronco are coming back, which they talked about this almost a year ago now, that the Ford Ranger and Bronco were coming back. So they do this cool presentation, you know, it shows the little kicking horse and stuff, and I'm like, cool, man, they're going to show it, and nothing. They're like, in 2020, the Ford Bronco comes back, and you're like, well, that's a bunch of who cares? And then they do the same thing for the Ford Ranger. It's like, next year, the Ford Ranger debuts. And you're like, well, okay. I don't know if they're trying to get ahead of the press a little bit or what's going on.
Yeah, they kind of it feels like they jumped the gun. I mean, they announced some really, really cool stuff with their new diesel, like you said, the Bronco and the Ranger. They announced cool stuff, but do something more than show a video. That's like me, like, hey, Action Suit Groot's gonna come out and show you some cool stuff, and then I show you a video of Action Suit Groot, like just the sticker of Action Suit Groot, and I'm like, but he's not gonna come in person. He's gonna come as a sticker.
That's
you know,
right.
like, what? I don't get that at all.
Well, they announced
They've had that concept forever.
Yeah, well, you know, what gets people excited is the rendition that one of the Ford Bronco forums put together, and
yeah,
Ford needs to just buy this design from them and just build it. I mean, I know people of all brands that see this thing and go, holy cow, that's wicked, just build it, I want it. And then we get this, you know, well, it's going to be built off our global platform of maybe, I think, what they call their Everest not Everest platform, but what they call the Everest SUV. And I keep hearing conflicting reports about that. I don't know, man. I think it's a good sign for us Nissan guys, though, because we know Nissan is working on a 4-wheel drive SUV based vehicle. So this tends to push people to want to build it, and fuel prices are still low, so that's cool. And I don't see any reason. There's no big wars going on right now that I can see us screwing with fuel prices. But what was cool was the F-150. It had been reported 6-7 months ago. There were spy shots of a diesel tailpipe on a F-150, man. And I don't know if it all goes back to that partnership to me that Dodge and Ram, whatever you want to call them, had with Nissan, where they were going to produce this Cummins 5.0 in a joint venture truck. I don't know if that scared like Ford and Chevy, but clearly Ford's the Dodge or Ram, they're actually selling quite a few of those little 3-liter V6 diesels that claim to get 28, 29 miles a gallon.
Right.
And I think we're going to hear some more news about that coming up because the government's actually looking into Fiat right now. Kind of that Volkswagen thing. But I think the diesel is actually coming to America, man. I mean, you're seeing Ford show interest in it. The only thing with the new F-150 that I seen that was kind of screwy is they got like 17 different motor packages you can do in this thing. You can do a EcoBoost 4-cylinder, it seems like now, an EcoBoost 6-cylinder, the diesel. You can get the Coyote 5.0, or you can get some V8. And it's like, guys, just break it down simple, man. If you want a bigger, badder engine, go to the 250. But it's good news for us truck guys. Hopefully Nissan, they're supposed to debut that V6 sometimes for the Titan, man. I'm kind of excited to see that one. And speaking of Titan, man, we'll get back to Detroit in a minute. They were awarded Truck Trend's Truck of the Year for 2017. And that
they got some good props on that, right?
Yeah, dude, that's big news. Anytime you can get an award like that it means at least they're paying attention to you. And over the weekend, man, we had a little bit of a snow day last Friday, and I went looking at Titans, man, and I've got the itch, Danny. It's a nice vehicle, dude. Betty out there is a little scared. She's in the driveway going, "Hey, Dave, what are we going there for? What are we looking around?"
I've been eyeballing them a ton lately too. Just shameless plug here, but one of the reasons why I've been eyeballing them is Nistec just came out with a bunch of new spacer kits and lifts, and we were working on getting those up, loaded up, and so I've been looking at lifted Titans all day, every day for the last 4 days on the internets, because Icon's got a kit that we sell, Nistec's got a kit that we sell now, and man, there was a black one I saw today with an Icon Stage 3 kit on it, and man, did it look good.
Yeah,
it was a nice black and gray Pro 4X, and I was like,
well, I'll be honest,
dying.
Y'all's social media has killed me here lately, man, because I've been itching for a full size truck like that, and then you happen to start posting up some patrols, some lifted patrols, man, all decked out.
Oh yeah,
and dude, that's kind of a game changer for me because they call it the Armada here. I call it a patrol. It's one of those forgot about vehicles that Nissan makes that can actually pull something. It'll pull 8,500 pounds like it's nothing. Big V8 in that thing. And so once you
that new V8's nice, man. It's a really nice motor.
That's something they ain't got the fuel mileage exactly right on it, but boy, it sounds like a hell on wheels. But when you posted that, I was like, oh yeah, they make a kick-ass SUV that I could use as a tow rig for my Xterra. So thanks, Danny. If I happen to buy an Armada over the next year or so, I'm going to blame that on you.
Well, I am adamantly trying to talk the wife into getting an Armada when her current vehicle is done with its payments here. So we'll see what happens this year. There will be a vehicle change in the family this year. We're up for to get rid of what she has right now in a couple months. She's tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Yeah,
it served its purpose, but
well, what do you hate, mileage per gallon or something, man?
Yes, I do.
Well, we'll get back to Detroit here, man. Nissan also, it was no surprise, man. Like most of these auto shows anymore, man, you never get the cool surprises. The Rogue Sport popped up. For those that Rogue Sport, man, what did they drop this thing and put some 20s on it? The Rogue Sport is called the Qashqai or something like that in Europe.
Qashqai?
Yeah. It's something that we Americans would never be able to pronounce. I think they go by X-Trail in Canada, and but what it is it's just a slightly smaller wheel-based Rogue-looking vehicle, and it's a price point vehicle. It's probably this vehicle is probably going to kill off the Juke, which really saddens me because it's about the same. It's a 5-seat vehicle. It's just like Mini Rogue. I mean, other than the taillights, it really looks like the same vehicle. I'm happy they didn't put them side by side, because I would have been like, well, yeah, that's interesting. But you know, damn thing will probably hit 35 miles a gallon. It'll get your groceries home. Of course, we talked about Rogue last time. I think it's an exciting looking vehicle, man, and it's been out for a few years and it still looks fresh.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, just a little bit more sporty. It's probably a little quicker. I guess they lost 12 inches, I think is what they said, the shorter wheelbase. So, it's kind of like a compact car that's a little bit more utilitarian as far as size and stuff. You can fit a couple larger people in there. In America, we like bigger things. And while they did squash it down, it's still bigger as far as,
and
vehicles.
They didn't kind of give us a price point on this thing, but I imagine it's probably $3,000 cheaper than the Rogue, and I think you can get into a nice Rogue for about $28,000. So I'm going to assume about $25,000 will get you into this Rogue Sport. It's it is what it is. The big thing is, it just says, hey, since the Rogue sales are like crazy right now, they're just trying to kind of double dip, I guess, a little bit with that.
Yeah, they were getting their Peters wet on the Rogue, man. They sold so many of those. They're just wrecking the market with them. They're like, it's almost like they're just it's like a cash cow for them. So they're like,
right,
let's just try and keep capitalizing on this. Let's just make a smaller one and see if it sells just as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I see it. They're just like Scrooge McDuck diving around and swimming through their money and hoping that more money comes in with the same thing, different badge, kind of.
From what I know of, what is like a little 4-cylinder engine in this thing.
Yeah, they're working on a hybrid as well to be one of the options. The thing coming, if I remember reading correctly.
Right. It fits the bill for people. I like it. I don't mean to sound crappy about it and say that it's a bad vehicle, but I really wish, like, all these manufacturers, man, if you're going to design a vehicle, make that individual design anymore. I understand, like when Dodge in the early '90s hit it with their truck and the Viper kind of look, and then they were like, well, every front end needs to look exactly like these two things,
Yeah, right.
And then Nissan and everybody's picked up on it, but I liked when the Maxima looked different than the Altima, which looks different from the Sentra,
Yeah, I hate to mention it, but BMW did that big time, and it seemed like all their cars turned into like these cookie cutter sedans.
Yeah, you can't
and
tell.
I just got so tired of looking at all of them.
Yeah, you can't tell a 3 from a 5.
Yeah, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who knows what else they're popping out? Well, it's all the same car, it's just longer.
There was a joke on Entourage one time about that with the Lexus, where I forget or maybe it was the Mercedes. Anyways, it talks about the dude just rebadged his wife's car, so she thought she had the high-end model,
Nice.
But the V-Motion, you had hinted to it earlier, the V-Motion 2.0.
Yes.
I don't know if I think they called it a V-Motion, the early designs of kind of what the Altima / Maxima kind of was a couple years ago. They had a V-Motion, if I remember right. It kind of hinted at the future designs, and it's been pretty accurate with like what they call the V grill and the aggressive lines like that. The V Motion, this was a letdown to me. I know a lot of people from the auto show has been really excited about it, but it just looks like the same thing sort of they build now, man. The only cool thing they want to talk about is their autonomous driving, which we kind of hinted and talked a little bit about. That's the one thing I can take away from the auto show is that every manufacturer now thinks they need some car that drives itself. But even the taillights kind of look like the current Maxima. The interior, they'll never build that. It's all wood floor and stuff. It almost kind of Lexus look to it with that weird funky front end.
A giant grill in the front does look a little Lexus-y.
Yeah, which
I like the back end a ton. I think the back end looks great, but when it comes down to it, it's it's almost like a slightly cooler looking Maxima to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Maxima's got a great design, and you think you see this, and that's the direction they're going. That they may make the Maxima just a little bit cooler looking in the future. So for me, it's I mean, obviously it's a beautiful car because it's a concept car and everything about it's pretty sweet, you know. But when I look at concept cars, I think, you know, how is it really going to look if this is, and I guess this is the way that they're going with the interior. You kind of just take pieces away from it that you say, okay, this design feature might be in the new one. You know, maybe they are going to go with, you know, just 2 bucket seats in the back or something weird like that.
Right.
But
it's even the sides.
I don't know.
Kind of that Dodge or that Dodge Challenger kind of sides to the thing. It's not new.
A little bit.
Not new and interesting. Like I said, that, you know, you're talking about the rear end of it. Yeah, man, that looks great, but it just looks like the current Maxima, really.
Yeah, it's like a Maxima steroid concept. But then, yeah, they're pushing a lot of that ProPilot function, the autonomous driving. The front design is their new V motion, like you said. It's just, I don't know, not the. It's hard to see what you're taking away from this. You know, like I said, it's a beautiful car, but what are we? You know, what are you saying? Are you saying this is going to be like the new autonomous driving car? Is this just a car that you made that looks really cool that you brought to the auto show?
It's just a car. But did anything else from the auto show kind of stand out to you, maybe away from Nissan? Was there I know, what was it? Kia had that, the little rear wheel drive car they brought out. I forget what they called it. That was, that's kind of exciting for Kia because usually they're kind of the leftover version of Hyundai. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Kia had some new SUVs out, and, they had, I don't know if I saw their car.
It's called the Stinger.
Maybe it was that orange one.
I think it was red at the auto show, but it's definitely wants to play in the BMW category. It's the typical Kia, kind of their grill, just a bigger car, man. I really like the thing. Depending on price point on the thing, it could be a game changer for those guys because, you know, they do, for one, crazy warranties, like 10-year warranties. And
yeah.
I haven't heard of the engine of it. I'll try to look it up real quick. But I heard rumors that Cadillac's talking about doing some weird, for $1,500 a month, they'll give you any car you want. They're trying to do some, I don't know exactly what they called the service, but for $1,500 roughly a month, you just pick out the car and they'll deliver it to your door. 2 weeks later, if you're tired of it, they bring you another car. And it's an endless deal from what I've read.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe you're going on that trip, you need the SUV, you know, you come back 2 weeks later and you're
just going after those rich people that are constantly leasing cars.
You know, I guess that's the only thing I can think of. And of course, $1,500 a month for a car for me is slightly out of my budget. So,
yeah, no, for sure.
But
on that, my opinion on that Kia, to go back to the Kia thing, because I just pulled it up and wanted to take a look at it.
Yeah.
And my family has had 2 Kias. We had a nice hybrid Optima, which I thought was a fantastic car. And then my wife now drives a Sorento or something like that, which is, it's like the most blah car. I mean, it works great and it gets good gas mileage, but it's super blah. But the Stinger looks like a new Optima in truth, because it's got a little turbo motor in it. It seems pretty cool.
Well, you get 2 options. It looks like you get a little 2-liter turbo 4, or you can get a 3.3 twin turbo V6, man. And
I bet you that's fast, man.
Oh yeah, you better believe it's fast. But I guess turbos are going to be here to stay now, man, because every car manufacturer
holy cow,
they seem to. I don't know if it's just because of the small engine, and then you can say, well, we've got 400 horsepower, and it's like, yeah, at 7,000 RPMs you do.
Yeah, they're showing 365 horsepower for that 3.3 liter. That's a good fast little car. And you know what? In the Optima, they had a turbo car that was pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Maybe Kia's coming up in the world again. Still, they did. You know what? Kia had, and this is turned from the Nissan podcast to the Kia podcast, but Kia a while back hired the designer from Audi, and that's when their new Optima came out, and it's a good looking car,
right?
You know,
right. Well, this thing's going to play in the Infiniti Q50 kind of area, the 3 Series and 4 Series, a C class kind of area. That's where they're wanting to play, and it's strange that you would have thought that Hyundai would have come out with this because kind of that's their more classy brand. It's weird to say that, like, because 15 years ago you would have been like Hyundai, you know. It's my dead grandmother drives a Hyundai, man. What are you talking about? But like you said, they've stepped up their design and their builds, so that's cool, man. Maybe it'll make that Infiniti Q50 that I want a little cheaper.
What do you think about that? As far as, do you think that's the new Z car?
What, the Q50 kind of thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Z's a weird thing to me. I was talking to my buddy Paul at Murfreesboro Nissan here the other day about that, and he was literally selling one. They had a pretty canary yellow one he sold, but I was talking to him. He doesn't know, and he's a big Z G35, G37 guy. So like he's one of those guys that's in the know with these vehicles, and he doesn't know, man. He you know, he's kind of one to believe that the sport SUV thing is where it's going to head. But, you know, the Z is always like the number of it is always your engine size. And now they're dumping like these 3-liter engines. What are you going to call it, a 300Z again, or definitely it's going to be a twin turbo at some point because they're loving that engine.
Yeah, that motor's got to. I see that motor being in it. You know, I mean, if the fascia is different, I see it on a very similar chassis with that motor. I mean, it's a rocket ship.
Well, our buddy Brian that works on these silly Nissans and Infinitis, he had hit us up and said that what they were having a couple issues with some ECM issues or something like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Which, you know what, that seems like just something which seems like something that'll probably be fixed pretty quickly. I mean, mechanical things, you know, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, but I think ECM issues would be fixed in their production and quicker than mechanical items like, hey, all the turbos are getting blown out the back of the motor or something, you know. Right.
Well, I mean, you know, you just never buy the first year of a vehicle anyways. And I know the 50's been out for a couple years, but that's not a car that's going to be hitting 100,000 miles already, or I would hope not, unless some businessman is just wearing the thing out. Anything else from the auto show that you've seen that was kind of interesting?
Not too much popped out. I think you were right with the whole kind of nothing was glaringly awesome.
I was really disappointed that we didn't see the Frontier, man. I really thought.
I know
that
I was hoping,
because I've seen these things, these little test mules all around the headquarters, and it's not like I don't see them. So
yeah, for sure.
The only thing that I can figure out is some stuff I've read that Nissan Australia was having issues with sales on the thing, and it's based on the rear coils. It's not a leaf spring vehicle.
Right. It's like a 5-link or something like that.
Yeah, and which is great for ride. You can't beat the ride of that vehicle, but for towing, it's not always the best. And of course, the guys in Australia are going to beat the crap out of the vehicle, probably like the American market would, versus where they're at India and stuff, where they're not going to, you know, it's just kind of a vehicle to get you to point A to point B. But I think that's really what's holding them up on it. I haven't got to see any of the test mules up close to kind of see if they're playing with leaf springs or not. But other than that, I was really disappointed, man, because, you know, last year was, it's the year of the truck. And what did we see? We saw
a truck. And at the end of the year, they got a couple in with the gas mask.
We saw that Pathfinder redesign, and they brought out the single cab Titan.
Yeah.
That's not the year of the truck to me. The year of the truck would have been to bring out a Titan, change the Pathfinder, bring us a Frontier, and maybe your next small SUV.
Yeah, they're focusing on their strengths, but I feel like they could really round out their product line a little bit better. That's kind of how I see it, you know?
They're really big right now. They have this goal that they've been trying to hit, this global percentage. They wanted like 10% of the market or something. And we talked about it several episodes back of that's probably why they did the big warranty on the Titan and stuff, is because they wanted to get that sales up. Here's an interesting thing I learned. The 2016 Titan, when it first came out, you know, it just had the normal 3-year, whatever, 36,000 mile warranty. I was talking to my buddy at the dealership the other day about that, and I said, "Hey, did they change the warranty on that vehicle?" And he said, "Nope." He said, "If you bought a 2016, you were stuck with that bad warranty." I was like, he said, "We had one sit on the lot forever because, you know, who wants to buy that vehicle with the warranty?
A first year with the warranty for a 3-year warranty.
Yeah, when you can get that 17 for a lot longer,
that thing will sit there forever, huh?
He said, I think they had to offer like $8,000 off of that vehicle to get it out of there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. What else is on Danny's plate of things, man? That was kind of the news I had.
Not too much, man. I know Gone Moab's gearing up this year. I wanted to give a shout out to Bill Irish and the guys over at Gone Moab. They're gearing up. It looks like a lot of hype coming this year for Gone Moab. I know it's a ways out, but it looks like it's going to be a really big event. So I wanted to give a shout out to those guys. They've been killing it on social media and plugging it, and so far it seems like it's going to be a really nice event. They got a lot of cool stuff going. I know they're doing pre-registration and stuff, so the registration's open on that. So I wanted everybody to keep an eye out for that.
Bill's supposed to be on here over the next couple of weeks, which would be
I think he's going to guest host.
He is. NORAC. We always like to do these little things where we try to help out the little clubs, and Bill won the little NORAC giveaway we did. I know we've got the Norse. I always confuse it with horse, but whatever the East Coast version of that is, those guys, we did a little giveaway over the week. We're going to have one of their cats jump in for a special guest host. And speaking of that, if you've got, you know, I know we talk trucks a lot, but we do love the cars as well. So if you're got a car club or something, man, you want to push it our way, let us know about it, guys. We're itching to talk Z's. I haven't talked GTR in a long time, man. I'm always pushing to talk some GTR and especially that R34, man. I want to talk to one of those guys one of these days. But yeah, definitely if you guys need, you know, a little shout out in your club or whatever you're doing, you know, we have a wide range of audience, man. We like we said at the beginning of the show, man, it's amazing to me every time I look at our show numbers of we're actually building steam in Australia, that's really cool, man, because that's a destination I want to be one day. South Africa now, we're starting to pick up some listeners there. Of course, we dominate the Nissan airwaves in America. Don't let anybody fool you. We dominate.
Yeah. Hey, we got the Nismo Fiestas coming up this year again. I know you wanted to spy that out. What are your thoughts on the Nismo Fiesta?
Well, my thoughts are, if people would like to help fund us to get there, Amazon.com, guys. Check out our website, www.nissannationpodcast.com. And I changed the Amazon banner. It's simple. You just click the little banner. It ain't going to take you to anything specific. It's just taking you to Amazon. You buy whatever, baby rattles, dog food, whatever adult things you need. I don't care. Purchase it. We get a tiny percentage of that. That's hopefully helps fund us to get there. So that's my shameless plug for Amazon, Danny.
Yeah. And I had another plug getting ready in my brain, and it fell out.
Look on the
fell
floor.
Right out. Even with the headphones on it, my shameless plug fell right out of the side.
You don't see it on the floor or anything?
No, it was right there, man. I was prepped and ready to go, and then I started looking, and then the squirrel ran by.
Squirrels? What?
Squirrel.
That's right.
I don't know.
I want to get there. That's my goal. I need to hit up with those guys and just see what their plans, are for their event. I haven't heard the dates yet. I need to check them out. But did you find it on the floor, Danny?
I found it. What I was going to say is, if for those of you that are our core listeners, all 20 of you that are core listeners, please do us a favor and hop on your iTunes and rate us if you would, and leave a comment, whatever, if bad or good, whatever. But that actually helps us get up the food chain, and who knows, if we get enough good ratings, people like us enough, maybe we'll get featured on the little featured podcast or whatever.
Yeah, what, newsworthy or something they call it.
Yeah. It helps us tremendously, and if you like what we do, throw us a little 5-star review or whatever the reviewing is, and that would help us a ton. So thanks for listening, and we wanted to ask if you would do that. It's not a shameless plug, and that's what I found.
Well, I do have one more shameless plug.
Oh yeah, another plug for you.
That's right, man. We bought these little cool. What do you call these little patches, man? I don't.
Those are called patches.
Oh, those just the patches.
You mean the patches? We call those patches.
They call them morale patches or something silly. I don't know. Anyways, we bought a handful of these things, man, and we had the first 10 or so go out quickly. I'd like to see 10 more go out really quickly, man. This is just money we're collecting to try to help get me and Danny somewhere. If it's not the Nismo Fiesta or wherever, maybe it's to Kansas. I don't know, man. Wherever there's a Nissan event, we want to try to go see
click
it.
Some red shoes, man.
That's right. So they are $8 on the website, and that includes shipping. And I try to throw something a little special in with those as well. But if you'll, once again, on our website, buy it now. That's all it takes, man. And you can have a cool Nissan patch to put on the roof of your vehicle.
Yeah. Or that way you can trade with your friends. Buy 2. That way you can put one on your roof.
Yeah.
And then when your buddy's like, "Hey man, where'd you get all these cool patches?" You'd be like, "Well, I buy some, but then I also have some for trade." He's like, "Well, check out this cool patch." You're like, "Oh, that's a cool patch." And then you guys can high five and trade patches.
Well, and I did that with Mr. Corey Sane there of Insane Fab, man. We did a little
there you go.
over the internet high five, and we traded patches, so that was
sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, I've traded lots of patches, man.
Well, I bet you have over your military career.
I have a variety.
That's kind of a thing in the military world, right?
You get patches from all your different units and stuff, and so you definitely accumulate some. And you know what was cool, Dave, is for Christmas, my wife got me a patch for every national park that I've been to. So awesome. I have, I don't know, 10 patches that I got to put some Velcro on and distribute above my head.
So you can look above and go, "Hey, I was there once." That's awesome, dude.
Kind of a big deal. That way people get in and they're like, "Dang, you've been to a lot of national parks." I'd be like, "Well, it's because I'm kind of a big deal."
Well, did you have a good Christmas, man? I know this is really our first show of the year.
Is it? Yeah. I thought we had something. Maybe not. I had a fantastic Christmas. Kids getting a million toys and stuff, and then being off for weeks. And I think I said in the beginning of the show, we went and found a little snow, did a little off-roading. Just some adventure and spent a lot of time with family. The standard Christmas stuff.
Just the standard stuff. Nothing. Nothing.
It was my time off. It was my relaxation time from my wild and crazy life, man.
Well, I know you do live a wild life, man. I like watching your Facebook page, man.
Hey, you know what was wild is it's been like blizzards and in the mountains and raining like crazy, but I went surfing 2 days ago. Awesome. Which is awesome.
That water's chilly
right
now,
That's why I live in California. What's up?
The water's a little chilly right now, right?
That's why we have wetsuits, Dave. And even if it's chilly, man, you gotta go get it wet, as I say. Even if the waves are crap, man, you gotta go get it wet a little bit here and there.
Well, the only thing I have is a reservoir lake over here, and there ain't much surfing going on for me.
Nice.
Yeah, did you? I sent you a package, Dan. Did you get my package?
Oh, Dave hooked it up, guys. Dave blew my mind out. You were probably leaning towards that earlier, and I didn't even bite. Dave, so check this out. I was having a Christmas New Year's party, right? Or no. It was a UFC fight. I had all my friends over. We're all chilling, hanging out, and I get a package and I pull it open, and I was like, "Oh, cool, it's from Dave." And I pull it open. Lo and behold, it's a signed Cincinnati Bengals football, Carson Palmer signed, and with some goodies in there. And I thought it was just some patches. And so when I opened it up, I was like, what is this? Oh, and there's a T-shirt too. It's a Bengals T-shirt for Christmas from Dave, and he went all out. And so now I feel like a bad person because I didn't get anything for Dave, not even and there was Reese's in there, my favorite candy, which I don't even know. I feel almost like he's creeping on me now. It was like the cross the world creeper gift that I loved, but I don't know if I love it that much anymore because maybe Dave's trying to proposition me for things.
You up there, dude. No, I was.
That's the way to do it, though, Dave. So you're going the right path.
I literally was like, we were like looking at throwing some extra stuff in that bag, and we had all this candy left over from our holiday parties and stuff. And I was like, Kelly's like, "Don't you throw those Reese's in there?" She goes, "Those are my favorites." And I was like, "Oh man." And the more I was just pissing her off, the more I kept throwing in there. So it was fun to just like keep dumping a few more in there, because she.
I ate all of them like right there on the spot. I was just smashing Reese's, all excited for my new cool swag.
Well, I wouldn't like trying to get you to brag about a football that I give you, but yeah, I was me and poor Danny are both Bengals fans, and Danny, you're a Bengals fan because of Carson Palmer, right?
Yeah, no, that was the dude. I followed him over from USC. I was a huge Carson Palmer fan while he was Bengals, and I mean I've stuck with him since for good and bad. But yeah, man, I was blown away.
Well, anyways, man, and it wasn't like where's my gift, Danny, by any means, man. I gotta.
That's how I felt. So Dave, that's how I felt. So just keep watching the mail for some weird stuff. Because it's not going to be expensive and it's not going to be cool, but it'll be weird.
I'll be honest, that's not what I wanted to send you. When I had this whole list of stuff, and you labeled my bonus room the dungeon. It was gonna get real weird real quick, man. And then I was like, what if his kids open this?
Dude, literally, my kids were standing there when I opened that too. That would have been interesting.
And then I was like, no, Danny's a pretty good Christian guy. I better not scare the family too bad. So we'll just give him a flat football. How about that?
That's good.
Well, Danny, we got next show, man. We've got, hopefully we can have Mr. Daniel with Nismo Racing to be on here, because I know the Dakar will be finished up by then, but I would like to hear it because the dude lives it more than you do of that style of racing. So.
Yeah, he's deep in it, and he's always up on a lot of the new Nissan stuff around the. He's a little bit more global than we are. He's up on a lot of the racing outside of the States.
He just got back recently from he was in the Middle East.
Oh,
he was following
Africa, Middle East. Yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, he went and did some media coverage, I believe, for a big race out there.
Right. So, and it was fun watching his Facebook page for all that stuff.
He did some really cool stuff. I forgot about that. I would have loved to chat with him about that.
Well, maybe
we'll get him next time. We'll get him next time for sure. I'm gonna hound him
next time, and we'll have Mr. Bill Irish from Gone Moab on here to talk. I know they've made some fun changes, and there, like you said, there seems to be a lot of excitement about that event this year. Maybe I can squeak away and get out there for a day or so, but probably not. We've got all kinds of news coming up, man. Maybe I can next show let you in on some future Wint plans, and who knows. But so, Danny, any last words before we jump off this train?
I think that's it. I would like to do a commercial if I could.
Wait.
Nistec Lifts, your number one source for Nissan off-road parts. Nissan Titans, Frontiers, Xterras, Pathfinders, Scooty backs, whatever you need, Nistec Lifts has it. Give them a call. That's it. That's all I got. You probably do that about 15 times in like the 15th.
It's now time for Tech Tips with Daniel Groders, brought to you by Nistec Lifts, your number one source for off-road parts and accessories. Oh man, I'm gonna give some tech tips, man.
Tech tips. I like it, Dave.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, dude. Before we go, if you were on the Book of Face and you were you kind of I see it every day, man. Of people going, well, who does this better? You know, does this company do it better? Does Nistech do this better? My tech tip is just give Chris and those guys a call. Their website's nistechlifts.com, or you can get them at xterraperformance.com. And just if you have a question, man, just give those guys a call, man. Whether it's the SPC upper control arms they sell, which seem to be like dominating for the Frontier Xterra, or if it's their MK84 coils, which I use and love them. I've had them on my truck nearly 2 years now. They've ran me great. Ask the professionals before you just assume that Rancho lift or whatever that's on eBay is going to suit you, man. Because here's the thing, Nistech is going to take care of you. I see it every day where people order stuff and it's sitting at their door a day or so later. They're just going to do you right, and they're going to, if you have a question, you just call the guys or email the guys, and they're going to answer. You ain't going to get that on eBay, guys, or Amazon. I can guarantee you that. Whatever that cheaply made lift puck or whatever you're buying off there, man, it makes a difference because this is a small company. There's nothing huge about this. They're not Rancho or some huge company that can dump $1 million into something, and if they never get it back, who cares? These guys care about your vehicle. So that is my tech tip. Talk to the professionals, Danny. And with that, guys, we're gonna wrap up this show. This is Danny. I think this is show 46, dude.
Living it up, man. We're killing it.
And can you believe 2 years ago our first show launched the 31st? Let's see, it was January 31st, 2015.
So wait, we've been doing it 2 years?
2 years, buddy.
Dang, man. I don't even remember 2016 to tell you the truth. I thought it's 2016 lasted, or 2015 lasted 2 years for me.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that don't remember it, man. We lost a lot of good people.
Because they died, Dave.
Yeah, we lost a lot of good people, man. And it seemed like 2016 just was like getting its final punches in there, man. But so anyways, guys, we really appreciate everybody that listens to us, that gives us a shout out. I know we had some questions on Facebook. We'll try to get to those next time. Danny's throwing his hands up in the air, waving. He wants to throw one more thing in.
Yes. Sorry, 1 second. I thought you were gonna go further. I thought I had a second to pull something up.
Oh, I can go longer, Danny.
Stall for time, Dave. Stall for time.
Ding, ding, ding. But anyways, we've done this for 2 years now, guys, and each month our numbers go up just slightly. If you really want to help the show and it doesn't cost you anything, share our Facebook page on your Facebook page or whatever your favorite Nissan page be. There's only 100,000 Nissan specific Facebook pages now. So if we could get one share and maybe one person from all 100,000 Facebook pages, we'll gain our listenership. And when we gain our listenership, it only helps you guys. We get to do bigger things. We bring on the big guys like B&M Light Bars and all those big time sponsors, Danny.
Yes, and to totally bring it down at the end of the show, there was an amazing man named Casey Folks. He was actually the man that pretty much ran the Best in the Desert racing, and he actually passed away today. So for those of you that care, I would say send up a prayer for his family because he was an amazing man and died suddenly.
Yeah, it was a sudden thing.
From a brain aneurysm.
Or was it an aneurysm?
Yeah.
Wow.
And amazing man that did so much for the sport of off-roading. It was his dossier of accomplishments is just massive and amazing between racing and motorcycle racing, car racing. Just his accomplishment and what he did for the sport is just mind-blowing. So say a prayer for his family. He was the guy that weighed me off the starting line on both my races, and I was really hoping for him to shake my hand at the end of a mint in my dream years. And you know what, that's not going to happen anymore for me, and it's saddening. But it's a big name that we lost today. So moment of silence for Casey Folks from the Nissan Nation podcast. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. So from everybody here in Middle Tennessee, over there, Southern California, Canada, I don't know wherever you listen to, Ireland. It's crazy. Russia, times are weird with Russia. So, comrades.
Who knows? They may start comrades. Yeah, who knows? We might get some comrades.
Yeah, man. I want to say thank you to all of our listeners. Like Danny said, go to iTunes, leave us a review. Go to our Facebook page, like us. Go to Instagram, man. We try to share some crazy stuff, some vegan stuff I shared tonight. Something strange that I seen, a leather packaged Pathfinder had vegan on the back of it, which was odd. But so if it's on social media, we're trying to be there, guys. So click us, like us, share us, do whatever, man. So from everybody here at the Nissan Nation podcast, my name is David Boyd Danny, and what are we?
Out.
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.